Naloxone is a life-saving medication that can reverse an overdose from opioids, including heroin, fentanyl, and prescription opioid medications when given in time. Naloxone is easy to use and small to carry. There are 2 forms of naloxone that anyone can use without medical training or authorization: pre-filled nasal spray and injectable. The decision on which form of naloxone to use or carry can depend on many factors such as cost, availability, and comfort level. Both are safe, effective, and can help save a life. Naloxone quickly reverses an overdose by blocking the effects of opioids. It can restore normal breathing within 2 to 3 minutes in a person whose breath has slowed or even stopped as a result of opioid overdose. More than 1 dose of naloxone may be required when stronger opioids like fentanyl are involved. Naloxone won't harm someone if they're overdosing on drugs other than opioids, so it's always best to use if you think someone is overdosing. If you give someone naloxone, stay with them until emergency help arrives, or at least 4 hours to make sure their breathing returns to normal. Nearly 50,000 people died from an opioid-involved overdose in 2019. One study found that bystanders were present in more than 1 in 3 overdoses involving opioids. With the right tools, bystanders can act to prevent overdose deaths. Anyone can carry naloxone, give it to someone experiencing an overdose, and potentially save a life. If you or someone you know is at increased risk for opioid overdose, especially those struggling with opioid use disorder, OUD, you should carry naloxone and keep it at home. People who are taking high-dose opioid medications greater or equal to 50 morphine milligram equivalents per day, prescribed by a doctor, people who use opioids and benzodiazepines together, and people who use illicit opioids like heroin should all carry naloxone. Because you can't use naloxone on yourself, let others know you have it in case you experience an opioid overdose. Carrying naloxone is no different than carrying an EpiPen autoinjector for someone with allergies. It simply provides an extra layer of protection for those at a higher risk of overdose. Naloxone is available in all 50 states. If you've been prescribed high-dose opioids, talk to your doctor about co-prescribing naloxone. However, in most states, you can get naloxone at your local pharmacy without a prescription. You can also get naloxone from community-based naloxone programs and most syringe service programs. Recognizing the signs of opioid overdose can save a life. Here are some things to look for: small, constricted, pinpoint pupils, falling asleep or losing consciousness, slow, weak, or no breathing, choking or gurgling sounds, limp body, cold and or clammy skin, discolored skin, especially in lips and nails. What do you do if you think someone is overdosing? It may be hard to tell whether a person is high or experiencing an overdose. If you aren't sure, treat it like an overdose. You could save a life. Call 911 immediately. Administer naloxone if available. Try to keep the person awake and breathing. Lay the person on their side to prevent choking. Stay with the person until emergency assistance arrives. Most states have laws that may protect a person who is overdosing or the person who called for help from legal trouble. Steps for administering naloxone for nasal spray. A. Remove the nasal spray from the packaging. B. Gently insert the nozzle into one nostril, aiming towards the back of the nose. C. Press the plunger to release the medication. D. If no response within 2 to 3 minutes, administer a second dose in the other nostril. For pre-filled syringe, A. Remove the syringe from the packaging. B. Attach the atomizer to the syringe. C. Administer the medication into one nostril, aiming towards the back of the nose. D. If no response within 2 to 3 minutes, administer a second dose in the other nostril. After administering naloxone, continue monitoring the individual's breathing and responsiveness. Place the individual in the recovery position to maintain an open airway. Stay with the individual until emergency medical help arrives. Naloxone only works in the body for 30 to 90 minutes. It is possible for a person to still experience the effects of an overdose after naloxone wears off or need multiple doses if a potent opioid is in a person's system. Administering naloxone can save lives during opioid overdoses. By understanding the signs of overdose, correctly using naloxone, and seeking medical assistance, you can play a crucial role in preventing fatal outcomes. Remember, this training is a general guide, and it is essential to receive formal training and certification before administering naloxone in a real-life situation.